And the runners are off. So, game 2! LuizMiguel against Nero, like Pro are already set. And since they both have a really close PB, it's always open for both. Sometimes even RNG can decide.
Yeah, and particularly in X1, RNG is going to play a pretty significant factor in who's going to have the early advantage here. Several of the bosses they're going to encounter have a high degree of RNG, so while it won't decide anything at the outset, it could have an impact on what happens down the stretch here.
Yeah, and we are in the interest for the Bs, where they can be active or passive, but for both of the runners it doesn't even matter because they both know the strat of only bonking the B once, so they don't have the problem with the HP. And you see them both having the same HP, I think both have 6 HP. And we want to have 3 HP in the end of the intro stage, and we are seeing for sure right now the task cars incoming. And a small lead of Luis because I can get a better pattern, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so pretty standard opener, both of them. Okay, Luis setting himself up for 1 HP, so he shouldn't have any trouble here for the final. Nero doing the same.
Yep. Like a difference of 1 second right now. Luis had some problems setting up the ship in the correct way, so it moved left and right, so that's why they're actually again synced, because Nero had the better ship. You can actually manipulate the ship that it goes completely to the right. Yeah, and that's like not so much RNG anymore in that ship.
Right. Nero got a slightly better pattern for Vile, so he's got a fractional lead at this point.
Yeah. We just hope that the whole race will be like that. That would be awesome. That would be pretty nuts. Yeah.
So, what do you think Nero's going to have to do to force a game 3 here? Because again, Luis, even though it's not showing on our screen, has a 1-0 lead on Nero. What's Nero going to have to do?
I think Nero just needs, of course, good RNG, and he also has to execute, not instant deaths, not big bonks, like not getting too much HP drops, things like that, what can cause menuing. I think they are really pretty synced of the level they have, and RNG is a big factor, of course, in every game, but we just hope that they are at least not having both, like a completely different RNG, like for example Armadillo is rolling 20 seconds for the one and for the other just directly stops. We will see what happens, but I definitely think that Nero just has to give his best and hope for some luck.
Yeah, he's got a slight lead going on early here, and from what I understand of these runners, Nero's going to need a lead going into X3 because Luis is a superior X3 player, and that might be where he could pull away late. I mean, obviously, both players are very skilled at all 3 of these games, but Luis might have the decided edge on X3.
Yeah, I definitely think, for example, that Nero has the better opportunity and the better time in X2, since he has the world record holder, and in X1 also the world record holder in the 80% category. The interesting fact, what I can just explain, is that Nero is actually the world record holder for the 100% category. So yeah, he is definitely with X3 in common, but not like Luis, because Luis is the world record holder in the 80% strat.
Right.
So like you said, Nero needs a lead to have a chance.
And here's where the RNG with Chill Penguin's going to come into play, and so far it's pretty identical. Okay, there's another slide for Penguin's not being very nice to Nero. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you want that the Penguin is actually not sliding, that he's acting, like he's giving you sculptures. Nero had a double slide, for example, and the slide animation Penguin is always invincible. So yeah, Nero had definitely the worst RNG.
Yeah, he didn't get very good RNG, and his platforming was a little shaky going into Penguin, so Luis was able to take a slight lead on him, but then he jumped it by about 5 or 6 seconds there.
Yeah, Luis had the better RNG. He could put a lot of shots into Penguin, and Nero, like we already saw, had the problem that most of the time, yeah, couldn't use the shots because Penguin was blocking with this animation. But it's all fine right now, and RNG will come again in other situations. I just hope that Nero is just keeping calm and is not stressing. Many of the runners have the problem that they know that something is going wrong, that they are rushing, that they are losing confidence, making easy mistakes.
Yeah.
And we see that already, that Nero is perhaps like already thinking too much.
Well, at this stage of the tournament, he knows what to expect at this point, and he knows the quality of his opponents. So, it's kind of a strange balance of sort of playing within yourself and not trying to force too much, but at the same time also taking a couple of those calculated risks and gambles, try and shave a second or a second and a half or whatever, just to try and keep it close. I don't know if they're watching each other's streams or not. I imagine they are.
I think they are. Definitely, there are some runners who don't like to watch the other one. But I guess these two are always watching at least the stream of the other one, or at our stream, just to see how far somebody's in the lead or behind. I think yesterday, for example, I saw that Luis played really safe in one part because he knew he had been in front in one boss. So I definitely think that they are watching each other.
Well, makes sense. I mean, and that may have an informed decision. And see, Luis had a very good Kuwanger fight. Did a very nice dance with him, and Nero almost finished with Kuwanger. He's getting good patterns with his morphing. And alright, nice fight from Nero. Keeping himself within range.
And we have exactly right now the one is going out of the stage, the other one killed. And Nero had a fade out. Fade out saves 20 frames. 3 fade outs are bringing you a second. So, yeah. You just saw Kuwanger, a very technical stage, climbing a lot. And the boss you can actually bring into the animation that he always tries to grab you, what we actually want, until he starts to be teleporting, and then you just finish him off. When you stay in the middle, you cannot be hit. And now we come to a very fast stage, where this is another RNG, what you see right now for Luis, the cave. The rest is straightforward.
Not great RNG for Luis. Got stopped a couple of times by the falling blocks. Nero's getting overall pretty good. I think he had a slightly better pattern than Luis.
Yeah, you can actually hit these small blocks what are falling down, but it's very precise, and you have to be in front, that the block is in front of you, not spawning on your head. But you're right, Nero had a little bit better RNG, but that makes not so much difference.
No,
than other things.
Perhaps not, but still,
Yeah, every small time save is important for Nero since he's already in the behind. But since we already know in every race somebody can get crushed, somebody had problems with Thunder Slimer like yesterday. Octopus can be really struggling. Even when there's a strat that you cannot get infinite, there can happen everything. So even when we have a time difference of 16-15 seconds, nothing is over, never.
No.
Especially in Mega Man X games.
So certainly, especially in the beginning, there's a higher degree of precision required in the platforming. More likely to die or make a mistake or go into a pit, especially early on. Later, not so much, but even then, like the first 12 stages where it can get really dicey, and one wrong input and oops.
Yeah, here for example you have now the stage platforms. If you don't get that trick, what is Luis right now showing, you can fall down. It's a lot of time. The next one is a very special section with ice, There's even a possibility to get the death kick, but we are not seeing the death kick, I guess, from him. No. It's like
not in a race setting.
You never know. Somebody tries. But yeah, also here we have another RNG boss. Like you for sure want to explain
yeah.
what we have with Eagle.
So yeah, so Eagle, it's all going to depend on how many dives is he going to do, and what they're going to hope for is 0. They want to keep Storm Eagle in the frame at all times, so they can do this quickly. But Eagle will do what he wants. So see how he.
So at least we have the weakness of him, but you see right now for Luis that he's staying on the screen. Perfect.
Misaimed a shot, but that's pretty good for LuizMiguel. Nero is not going to be as fortunate. That's one dive. Okay.
So he can come down after one dive, and he had to be lucky at least. He can, if he's not coming after one dive down, he will come at 6 dives, 8 dives, or 9 dives. So he was at least lucky that he directly came down.
Yeah.
But this is a small thing, what we already explained, that some bosses can really make a time difference. I just, again, mention Armadillo, who can roll forever or directly stop.
Yeah.
It's what the game decides.
Yeah, 4 bosses in X1 will do that. Chill Penguin, Storm Eagle, Launch Octopus, and Armadillo.
Yeah. The rest is no RNG based. Here you see the Sam hallway. Runner called Energy Sam trained that and showed that. Where you use a lot of ice and buster shots. You see like the high level of these two runners. Why they also deserve to be in the finals, because they're both on a really high level.
Yeah. Nero had a little trouble there, and this is the level actually that sunk him last night, potentially. I mean, it wasn't just this, but this is where things kind of went sideways for him.
Yeah, Thunder Slammer can also be an RNG negative way, that he can just stay up there, or he can come down, you can just mash into him. So we have also some RNG in the middle of the stage here.
Yeah, so pretty good level for Luis. Nero's couple of screen is about 20 seconds behind, I'd say.
Yeah.
His platforming's been a little uneven here in Mandrill. Luis has been much crisper in his movements. Nero's had a few hiccups here and there. So we'll see how this.
You know, just want to say sometimes it's just perhaps the controller issues here and there. You never know.
Yeah.
All technology.
Those inputs.
So Sparkmender can actually punch, or just stay, or just jump and make electricity. You just actually want that he's never trying to punch you, because then you can make the double shots, what you see right now from Nero. And if he's trying to punch you, you can avoid it, but a little bit of time, just half a second. So it's Nero just finished the boss, Luis starting Flame. We will see if they're going the same route, that they are going both after Mandrill into Mammoth, or they have a different route, because you can play Flame Mammoth whenever you want after, I think even after Eagle.
Yeah, after Eagle you can play him whenever. Some have gone Armadillo 6. It's uncommon, but it's happened a few times in this tournament. Generally, Octopus is saved for last.
Yeah, that's correct.
Mammoth's probably next to Sting Chameleon the shortest stage in the next one, and pretty simple as far as platforming. Just a lot of dashes and precise jumps. Ooh, Nero. Yeah, I'll take the blame for that one. Slight miss on the jump there. So yeah, Luis underway with Flame Mammoth. Double hits with the
Tornado.
Yeah, nice fight.
Yep. 1454 kill. We can just watch what Nero's kill time is, so we see the small difference between them two. But they are going with the same route, and also LuizMiguel will fade out what causes the music to be a little bit lower. So you will have the inputs loud and the game music very quiet. And the kill time is 15:19 to 54. 25 seconds?
25 seconds, and Nero missed out on another double from Mammoth, so we might have lost a second or two there, but good fight overall. And we come now to Armadillo, roller coaster stage.
You actually right now hear that the music is very quiet and everything else, like the sound effects of the game, is really loud. This is the thing what causes the fade out. Fade out is, like we already said, like only 20 seconds time safe, 20 frames time safe. But on that high level, of course, they are going for that to try to save the frames.
Absolutely. And
yeah, Dillo is a fast forward stage. A lot of spikes.
Luis holding the line here early. Doing a nice job at the platforming, almost to the end. Despawn, getting rid of as much lag as possible. Nice jump.
Entering the door. Yeah, you have a lot of minecarting in Armadillo. Most of the time you are destroying the enemies. The reason why they are jumping the last mine platform is that they want to despawn birds. And if the minecart is actually connected to the ground at the same time when we're standing on them, the birds will spawn. And LuizMiguel had a really good RNG.
Not the cleanest finish for Luis, not what he was hoping for, but good fight all the same.
Yeah. Let's see what kind of RNG Nero gets.
Not great.
3, that's okay. 3 is fine. 3 is always okay. It can be worse. The best is of course he directly stops, but it's fine. Now we come to Octopus, last boss in the MMX 1 part, the 8 Mavericks, and you are very low on HP. So here you have to be very careful with bonks and everything. It could be even that.
Yeah.
Could be. I just want to say that the guys who come with the submarines, that they will perhaps pick up some HP. That they are not going with low HP into the boss fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see that. HP is very important against Octopus. Since there's later a situation that you cannot avoid the bonk perhaps from one of the torpedoes. If you would go with low HP, you could have a problem against, like you saw that, right? Have a problem with Octopus, like going with half HP into the boss fight.
There's no point taking chances at this stage. You just gotta ride this out and do whatever you need to get through this, because this really is like one of the big early tests as far as the game goes. If you can get through this, you're not exactly on easy street, but you've really gotten past a major obstacle.
So here you see right now the power whirl from Octo. You can actually jump into him. He's not doing that, Luis, because I think he knows that he's in front. Because the biggest problem is, like, even when there is a strat, what you just saw right now, that if you're doing it wrong, or too early or too late, that you are staying in that. And both have really bad RNG against this Octopus fight. In this Octopus fight, you just want that he's jumping and shooting it.
So better RNG for Nero has allowed him to narrow the gap. So Luis finished X1 at 1911. Nero finished at 1926. So as per the rules, they get a 30-second. They have to wait 30 seconds between games, which gives them time to switch cartridges or adjust controls, as we're seeing with Nero.
Yeah.
So
It's just that there is no advantage for example, default people or who's playing on consent, who's not playing on console. So
yeah.
The tournament directors just said we give a 30-second time difference between A and B and C, like between the games. So there is no advantage because of that.
Right. So opener to X2, and we say goodbye to the green guy. Green
biker dude.
So,
in my eyes, even when they're very, very good both runners, I would say if Nero trained that game, that he is actually the better X2 runner. Nero said that he does not like X1. Luis said that he does not like X2. So we have right now perhaps a small advantage for Nero. We will see that. Perhaps he can bring that 16 seconds back into a shorter distance. We will see that.
He's going to need to do more than a shorter distance. He's going to have to take the lead outright, really, to really have a chance here to force a game 3.
Yeah, absolutely. But we have not so much RNG bosses, and X2 is actually more moving in a wing game than RNG based. So yeah, depends on the execution, of course. We'll see what happens. Nero needs just good execution and just hope that Luke's making a mistake if he wants to take the lead.
Wire Sponge is a good chance for him to get some time back, because this is a fairly RNG dependent boss.
Yep.
And it's partially execution based too. This level is also RNG based. You see Luis getting the rain, and that slows you down a bit.
But yeah, the second pattern one is the better pattern. So what you actually want from the game is that it's sunny or clean in the first section, not raining, and the second sunny, not raining. Causes like 2 seconds every section together. And yeah, Nero had double rain, so he had the worst RNG again. It's not his day of RNG, I would say, in the world. But yeah, Sponge, you want him actually that you kill him when he's doing the animation, what you see right now for Luis. If not, if you make him angry, he will be doing his animation, what you see right now for Luis. Power animation, and then he's like charged up, and you want actually to kill him in the top, so he's not doing that move. Let's see what kind of RNG Nero gets. It causes like 8 seconds, this power animation.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like Nero no luck for him on that, but still had a slightly better fight overall. Luis had a little trouble with Sponge early, so...
Yeah, the RNG boss was RNG-like. Not in the favor of the runners, but both with the bad RNG. Luis even tried to wait a little bit that he goes up. He didn't go up, so in the end he decided to just shoot him, take the charge up, and lose the 8 seconds. Just go. Now we come to Wheelgator, very technical stage. In the Gator tank.
And this is the only upgrade that they're going to take, the weapon upgrade here, which will be used quite a bit throughout the run.
Yeah.
Particularly once they get Flame Stag, but Strike Chain as well will also come in handy. Nice clip there by Nero, kind of going through the wall, through the wall there.
Clippy clip. Yeah, it's not only the Flame Stack and the Firework, it's like some bosses, for example, like Crystal Snail, you can really quickly defeat when you're using the charge line. So the Buster upgrade is giving them the possibility to be really fast in stages, because Wireframe and Flame, the rushing burner, can give you a lot of possibility to speed up. And yeah, they're not going for any security, so if you think and ask why they are not taking something, they're just not doing. They play low percent. That means they're not taking anything. That's why you don't see them taking on the upgrades, whatever, except the Buster upgrade.
If they were going to take an upgrade for health, they would have done it at Sponge right off the bat. Some runners earlier in the tournament did do that, and it does come in handy because some of these bosses, notably thinking of Morph Moth, can do a serious amount of body damage.
Correct. It's like you get 7 HP damage, and you have even a very difficult cave before the boss. So yeah, you can go with very low HP there, and the boss can struggle. What you see right now is just the kill of Luis. You can explain if you want.
I would say, yeah. So he's going to be using charge. He's going to be using strike chain every 5 frames to try and keep Wheelgator from going underwater. LuizMiguel did it perfectly. Nero, not so much. He missed at the 5-frame window.
Has to wait that he comes up. He came up, and now he just continues. Okay, he didn't lose so much time. He was lucky that Cater directly came up. He can wait along. He can shoot 2 of these metal rolling things to him. I don't know the name on English, sorry.
Right.
The wheels.
Yeah. Wheels. But good fight from Nero, keeping himself within range as they go on to Flamestag next.
Yep. We have still the advantage of, I would say, at least 15 to 20 seconds between.
Thereabouts, yeah.
So now they are just having on the map the counter hunters. We're not fighting them, they just show up. They want you to fight them to get the parts of Zero back. So you get your friend back, but we are only playing the 8 Mavericks, it doesn't even matter.
Right, this is 24 Mavericks, so we do not get to see the second half of this game. We're just going to go straight on to the next one and the next game in the series.
Yeah.
Very much akin to the 46 Robot Master tournament that was played in 2016 to great fanfare and success.
2 days ago I saw a friend of us playing the early version of the Mega Man X2 game. It was very interesting. For example, when you touch here the lava, you're just taking damage. The early version of this game, the touching lava was an instant death.
Wow.
So imagine you would have to make this section, and you miss a dash, you would be instant death. So just to give you information that they just changed some parts. Flamestack has actually not so much RNG, but you want him that he's doing Fireball because his iframes are shorter. And yeah, they're using the Buster Fight, so they're using dash lemons. Means they're shooting in the dash animation to them to make 2 HP damage. And that's all.
About a full boss fight ahead at this point. Nero is climbing with Flamestag. He missed a shot there. So.
Yeah. This is actually the animation then that he's continuing for the whole time, because his iframes are setting up shorter than when you're doing this. When he's doing his fireball, then he's shooting the fireballs.
Yeah.
Both okay fights from the RNG. They're a little bit struggle with the shots, but not much.
Moth is up next for Louise.
Technical, some RNG with, and of course, boss fight has to be very precise.
Yeah.
Could be that you're going with low HP into the fight, and you should be careful.
They're probably going to take some precautions, if necessary, to ensure that they are in good shape as far as health is concerned going into the fight. And both of them can go through this just fine, but you know, whatever they can do to mitigate any potential threats is going to be crucial here. Good mini boss fight from Louise. Nero underway here in Morph Moth, the 12th of 24 Mavericks, so we're at the halfway point. This potentially deciding match here. Those of you just joining us, this is game 2 of 3 of this grand final between LuizMiguel and Nero X2. LuizMiguel holding a 1-game-0 lead over Nero X2. and is currently leading by about 20 seconds here in game 2.
Yeah, Luis entering the door with 29.53. We can check what Nero's time will be, so we see the difference. This is actually like Luis has like full HP. This boss has actually 2 forms. There is not much RNG except that you have to hit him before. They are using a damage boost, and now they are just finishing the second form with fire. But pretty easy fight if you're just going with the right timing. Having enough burner both, so straightforward fight. In the early time of the tournament, you saw some runners struggling, especially against Mob, because you already explained the damage.
Yeah, Nero taking some damage that was not intended, and now he's got himself a fight here with Moth phase 1.
It was an invincible situation that he has to wait. Now he just has to be a little bit careful, but 2 more shots. Let him come down.
Oh dear. Oh boy.
That is exactly the damage what we are explained, and now he has to fight him even with busters. So.
Which he can do, it's just going to take a long time.
Yeah. So the biggest problem is Moth makes 7 damage. He had like one situation that he didn't get the charge burner into him. So
yeah. So
now he has to play Buster against him. It's a big lag. Also, he has to wait for some animation, like him going on the ground, getting some damage here and there. So you see the lag. Also, you see, and now it's the second form. There's no rushing burn anymore, so he has to be careful. Has to play on the ground.
Oh boy, that's not good.
Definitely not.
Oh.
He has 2 HP right now. No hits anymore.
Yeah, he's got
one more.
Yeah,
yeah, nice.
Just glad he got out of that in one piece, but he is in serious trouble going into the second half of this race.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not over by a long shot, but he's going to need, at this point, he's going to need a serious mistake from LuizMiguel to draw himself back to even.
Yeah. That's a shame. And there you can see, like, small mistakes can really decide on this high level something happening. In that case, it was Nero not getting one rushing burner into Moth.
Took Luis a minute, but looks like he's got the right pattern for Magnus Centipede.
Yeah.
So now, if, as you say, if they're watching each other, Nero might at this point feel like, you know, screw it, I'm going for it. You know, he might. Although he had a little trouble there, but he's like, go. Opening to Magnus Centipede can be really unpleasant, but no. Getting back, it's like now he might go for stuff he might not otherwise. Just to, you know, do whatever he can to at least, you know, get himself back into this. But it is probably gonna take a combination of that, and it's gonna take a major mistake from Luis somewhere.
Yeah, normally actually Nero should be right now relaxing, because nothing can go more wrong than it already happened. You never know, but
paradoxically, that's actually probably not wrong, because, you know, at this point, you know, it could be psychologically freeing in a sense, like, well, the game's already thrown its worst at me, so what can happen now?
Yeah. But yeah, definitely, like you already said, something. But on the other hand, Luis knows for sure what happened, so he knows that he does not have to go for the crazy strats anymore, or perhaps take a save there and there. We'll see.
Yeah. And to answer chat's question, yes, LuizMiguel did win game 1. He had like a 103, I believe.
Yep.
Which is pretty impressive considering this is a race, you know.
Definitely.
Nicely done by Nero to finish off Centipede, we got a one boss difference, a one stage difference at this point now.
Yep.
So.
And there's the thing why I already explained why you want the Charge Buster situation, one cycle snail, what Luis just did. Yeah, the Buster upgrade definitely helps a lot for Mavs tournament. So you lose perhaps 20 seconds taking the Buster, but you are saving. Yeah, Luis just finished the stage and Nero's going in. So I currently one stage difference between them two.
So yeah, so now Miguel is on his way to Overdrive Ostrich. Nero's just getting started with Crystal Snail, which is, I think, probably the shortest stage in X2. Or it's up there, maybe Bubble Crab, but pretty short overall.
Yeah.
And Ostrich, like Armadillo, is a fairly fast-paced stage, and they're going to be right. Miguel's going to want to hold on to that bike all the way to the finish. Can.
That's a pretty fast section, definitely, with the bike. Just go into the door. Let's see if he tries to take the door, the bike with him.
Yeah.
I crashed this before.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rocket will be killed, and now he's fighting off. Looks very easy that stage, but if you play the first time, you're completely don't know what to do.
It's probably for the casual player, probably the favorite stage to start off with, just because it is so fast-paced and it's kind of unique.
Yeah.
So
you see right now on Luis' fight that he's doing some double hits into Ostrich because of short iframes. So he puts a Buster Shot, then followed by the Snail weapon, and the Snail weapon again on the ground. And with that he saves one cycle, because he puts 3 Buster Shots and the weakness is 3 HP. So this is the perfect fight. Luis, what to play him. Finishes 37-10 hands up.
Yeah. It remains a one-stage difference as Miguel gets ready for his 16th Maverick and the final one of X2, Bubble Crab, as Nero's getting started with Overdrive Ostrich. So, yeah.
Riding the bike. Yep, and Bubble Crab actually it's not really RNG, but can be dangerous, because makes a lot of damage. You are low HP also. And he always comes to you when you're hitting him, so can be rough. You have the mini boss, what you just have to do is he's not following you anymore. Opens the door, and they're using, of course, all the weapons they can use, like the wireframe, what you just saw. Or, all these items are helping them to speed up. So you can really see how optimized the game is already. Like, the runners know exactly what to do and what time to get the fastest possible passing the stage.
Menuing is not a problem for them.
No.
They've got it all figured out. They've all got it mapped into their heads. They've got it basically down to reflexes. So, underway here, both of them fighting their respective bosses. Miguel about halfway done with Bubble Crab. Nero just finished off Bubble Crab at 38-48.
So we come to the strongest game for LuizMiguel. Mega Man X3.
X3. So this is why we said before that Nero really needed a lead going into X2 because into X3, excuse me, because Luis would be able to turn the tables if he were behind, most likely, and use his abilities in X3 to pull away, as he has done pretty much throughout this tournament. Nero having a little trouble with his platforming there.
Normally this fish is actually hitting you, but it can actually force the game to not get hit there. So yeah, Luis up to Mega Man X3, strongest game, 8 Mavericks and 2 mini bosses what they have to fight. Some RNG here and there, but not so much. The less RNG games, the first 3 Mega Man X games, and they even take the weakness for one of the RNG bosses. So
it's the least RNG heavy, but it can be the most dangerous if execution goes astray, because some of these bosses do a lot of damage as far as body, and that
only the body, not only the bosses, also the enemies on the stages are really some of the high damaging you. So you're right. The biggest problem with X3 is definitely the damage for everything.
Okay, Nero finishes him off at 40:39, so he's about 2 minutes behind, or about a full stage behind, going into X3. So he's got his work cut out for him, no question.
Yeah, we have the intro stage for LuizMiguel. We played first time ever 0 for a short part because Mega Man X get captured. And now he's going for the end boss of the intro stage to start the game.
As it is an X2, pretty straightforward fight, just to kind of get your feet wet and kind of understand how the game works, and then just throw you out into the woods, so to speak.
So the mini boss, what you see right now for Luis, called Moa, he can punch down, just down or just at you. You never know, it's like completely RNG. And it was a nice pattern actually, just one hit. Nero starting the intro stage right now. Story of the game is the base got attacked. Have to go again for Mavericks, like in every game.
Under the control of Dr. Doppler, who, as we later learn, is just a pawn for Sigma.
Like many games. So Sigma's back, and has a stronger body. That's what we can say. Big body. So we are in Blizzard Buffalo, icy stage. A lot of ice physics.
And
can explain if you want.
No, you got it.
It's just very, like, this is really like you're sliding a lot on these ice. Can be a pain here and there.
One thing. I don't think either of them are going to go for it, but some players will go for the jump upgrade available in this stage, which can be beneficial in spots for platforming. Makes some of the levels like Gravity Beetle a lot easier, but it's unlikely that either will go for it. Luis skipping it, as expected.
Yeah, I think Nero too. Both will not use that. So they play the actual category, what is called low percent. They take no items and just having the normal dash. And like you already said, the upgrade actually helps in some sections for climbing up, because this boot upgrade can not only bring you a dash forward in the air, it can also make you dash upwards, so you can reach higher platform. And they are using it with normal dash jumps, what is kind of tricky, but not impossible. And they save 20 seconds by the capsule animation.
So really good fight from LuizMiguel, who's able to trick Buffalo's AI into staying in the corner, making quick work of him to lead off. So the one stage lead remains as we go to the second Maverick of X3, Toxic Seahorse.
Toxic Seahorse is a very technical climb section. Here, the first time, the boots would be a benefit if you would have them, because you have to go like really special inputs. And with the updash, what you would have, it would be much easier to climb here. So they go with the normal boot, using precise movement to just climb this section. Like you can see, they use gap jumps with the ladders. So you can actually climb a ladder by just pressing in the right time the situation. Instead of climbing them with the hands, you're just jumping at them. And we see if Nero's taking... No, he's not. Just using the ice physics to be fast.
Yeah, as we kind of expected, yeah. So... Luis taking on the mini-boss.
And Nero's fighting Blizzard Buffalo. The AI of Blizzard Buffalo is actually funny, because every time when you just jump, like you see right now in Nero's fight, he thinks you jump over him, and that's why he's always dashing to the wall. So, very easy AI to go with it, same like Chameleon in X1. Easy to learn and easy to execute.
The Chameleon's also is about the mashing as well, and Luis is well regarded for his mashing. Well, both of them are, but Luis could really make quick work of this boss. Takes a health upgrade. So
yeah, it's like mashing is everything in many games, especially in the Mega Man X games.
Yeah, and Nero had a slightly better fight than Miguel. Luis was playing a little safer. 2-cycle, nicely done.
Yeah, there are 2 bosses in Mega Man X3 what have the possibility that you can cancel the actual iframes. This is Toxic Seahorse, where you can actually what he just gets no iframes in special situations. If you put the ice very high, when he lands on the ground, his iframe situation got cancelled, and you can just put a lot of shots into him. And the same as Crush Crawfish, where you have this kind of the same animation that he's doing something, and then if you do it in the right time, you can put a lot of shots. You will see that later. So these 2 bosses are just a little bit different.
So yeah, so Luis has the mandatory cutscene with Bit, Bite, and some guy we've never seen before.
The Shadow.
Yes, and Dr. Doppler, who we will not be fighting in the game, but you get the idea. So Miguel's on his way to the 3rd Maverick of X3, Tunnel Rhino. Now here, it is a complete RNG of whether he will actually fight Bit. Bit will appear in the 3rd to 5th Mavericks in this game, and which one he appears in is completely random. And ideally, they would rather not fight Rhino and Bit in Rhino stage, just because
of damage.
HP is crucial, but that is not going to be the case for Luis. He is going to have to fight Bit. Now, it's not a very hard fight for them. It's just, you know, a question of making sure that they have... well, there's some damage. I can give him a lot of help there. So, yeah, you want to finish with Buster, whenever possible.
Yeah, the biggest problem in this Tunnel Rhino stage is when you have to fight Bit that you are a little bit HP. The good thing is, like, the mechanic of the ice actually can give you the possible farm HPs. You got some damage right now, so... I mean, we know that Luis is a quick masher, so now comes the mini-boss what actually fight by mashing at him. But yeah, his HP will be a little bit lower, even when he's getting a 2-cycle, and he has to be a little bit careful because the damage is huge in X3 for many bosses. But if he wants to, he can just farm HP from the next tank by putting ice into him. Some enemies drop HP every time, so if he wants to be safe, he just takes right now ice from, like, kills the next tank. He's not going for that.
He's confident in what he can do, and well, he is going to take that HP upgrade since it's there, but okay,
yeah, all fine, no problem. Tunnel Rhino, actually, if you don't die, have two attack patterns. He can stop, or he can just run into the wall, and he can charge up. If you die, he has more attacks, more drills. I don't know why it happens, but it's just a problem of the game creators. And since we have his weakness, he's actually really easy to fight. He can stay in the middle and go left and right. In the moment he's doing just the easiest pattern, going through the walls. You actually want in the end that he's doing that, so you're having one less fight.
Yeah. So yeah, Nero doesn't have to take on Bit. He'll get him in Crawfish or
Catfish, I guess.
Catfish. Volt Catfish, yes.
So why they go the route Rhino, Catfish and Crawfish is because of the weaknesses, and that they get the weakness for Neon Tiger, what is an RNG, but you can actually bring him into the situation that there is no RNG in the end of the boss. Because some of the bosses have like charge animation, what you just saw from Rhino in the end, and Neon Tiger can be invincible. And we just cancel that by using the weakness of him. And Luis is just going into Catfish.
It's all kind of a roundabout way, but it works very well.
Get some damage here and there, it's not a big deal actually. Here's another part with the updash would be helping, but not... I think like they would go for the updash for the dash boots if that would be an advantage in the end, but they just tried it out and for sure they know that it's much faster without. And you just saw right now the situation that Luis put some ice into the enemies and have HP drop. You can get small HP or big HP drop. So yeah, it's RNG.
So he is playing it a little safer at this point because he can afford to. Nero's being a little more aggressive right now with his strats. It has worked pretty well for him, but it's gonna like I said, it's gonna take a major mistake. Luis is gonna have to like take a death in a pit or something.
Definitely a death or something. Game over will be not happening. At least a death. Perhaps I don't know. The checkpoints are mostly far away. But yeah, we never wish a death except Drago. He loves that death's happening. Yeah. But yeah.
But for, in terms of what it would take for Nero to get back into this, it would take a death at this point.
Yeah, and Catfish is actually also a thing, like, you want him to attack even when he has like 50% of his HP, he goes into the middle and tries to take the big charge, the thunder. But if you can bring him like into an attacking animation, you can actually shots into him until he goes to the middle. So we call it like 2 drill, 3 drill, 4 drill Catfish or whatever. And he had a okay Catfish. Couldn't bring him into the longer attack pattern, so that's why he had to just bring him into the middle. And you see Nero also taking some HP back, so he has a refill of the HP. I think he has to fight him here or in
he's gonna fight him in Crawfish.
Yeah, the last stage where he can appear.
Yeah, so yeah, that's while it appears Nero has caught up, and to some extent he has. No, not significantly. Yeah, Nero's gonna have to fight Bit in Crawfish, so that's gonna swing the back to about 2 minutes. Yeah, about 2 minutes.
So yeah, Catfish fight, same situation. Bring the buster shots into him. Fighting them as long as possible without getting him or bringing that he's going into that animation to stay in the middle and just try to charge up. And Luis on the way to crush Crawfish, the boss. The second boss in this game with the cancellation of iframe possibility when you are using the weakness. So Nero had tried to bring him into the situation to Catfish to attack him more, but he didn't want to. So he had to put a charge buster into him and just goes no with drills, what is actually much the buster fight. what you can see right now.
So yeah, not a great fight for Nero, unfortunately. He remains about a full stage behind as LuizMiguel gets ready to fight his 5th Maverick of X3.
And that's exactly what I just meant. Like, in the moment when you attack him with a weakness and he's attacking with a scissor, you can actually put dash elements into him, and you just saw the quick kill of Luis, the 2-cycle. What needs to be a good Nasher again?
Right, exactly. So Nero underweight. So Nero underweight and Crawfish is going to have to fight Bit, and Miguel's going to start Neon Tiger, and this is one of 3 stages where Bite could appear.
Correct.
Now, unlike Bit, it doesn't really matter where Bite appears. The overall effect is largely negligible.
Yeah, Bite is actually not RNG, it doesn't even matter, you don't even need weaknesses. Because like in the other category 100% you don't want him to show up Catfish because you need the weakness. But here it doesn't even matter where he's putting them because, yeah, like I said, you don't need the weakness. And Nero just fought a bit, has a little bit lower HP. Crawfish is also a boss what makes a lot of damage by body contact, so can be always be a little bit afraid. But on that level what they are playing, that should make a deal actually. Yeah, LuizMiguel just fought the mini boss in Neon Tiger, and the reason why they go with the Tiger now is 5th, like I already said, they have now the weakness of him. They can actually force Tiger to not go into the charge animation at the end. And that helps a lot, so the RNG is out of that fight, what can be really painful. Luis not having Bite, so he will come in the next stage, what is Gravity Beetle, or the last boss fight stage, Blaster Hornet. This is actually a special showing up right now. How much damage some enemies are doing. So he touched the one enemy and it made 8 damage. 8 HP.
Those drills, man.
These, how's it called? Bike makers. And Neon Tiger can jump around, can stay on the wall, can do a, how's it called? An attack with a claw.
Yeah,
you just want him. That he's not doing that and not hitting you, because that makes a lot of damage.
Yeah, you don't want him swiping at you, so he's gonna use...
right now, weakness, like I already said, now it's like the RNG is out. So, done. Easy fight.
So that's 22 down for Luis. He's 2 away from scoring a win and winning the tournament outright.
He already won the other tournaments. Not a surprise. Yeah, I think all the tournaments what had been in MMX in the last years had been won by LuizMiguel, and many times even the finalist was Nero. For example, the MMX 100% tournament, any percent tournament. Yeah, Luis just.
Yeah, Nero didn't get the 1 cycle on the mini boss. He didn't even get the 2 cycle. Oof.
Yeah, because the ice was still on the ground, so he had to wait. You could actually cancel it by using the Buster, the pause menu, but I think it doesn't matter anymore for him. He just tries to go.
So
yeah, the bike fight, completely easy. Just go with it. I just want to say, bite fight has no. Just put the drills into him and just fight.
We got one of the drills in front of him and he actually pushed it away, but so
the reason why they are finishing these 2 bosses, Bit and Bite, with the Buster is because they just want to bring him away, scare them. If they are killing them with the weakness, they have an explosion what causes 10-15 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's why they're using, at least with the last shot, the Buster. Because you can use the weakness as much as fight as long as your last boss fight is last shot is Buster Shot, what brings the HP down from him. And here, you, like already mentioned, see an advantage of the boot upgrade, but on the high level you see that they are even climbing without the elevator and without the updash boots by using a perfect dash jump wall kick.
So LuizMiguel, no problems navigating through Gravity Beetle, and actually Nero did fight Bite as well in Neon Tigers, so
correct.
Again, we're at about a one-stage difference, and it's all pretty much over at this point. Nero's gonna need a miracle at this point.
The console get destroyed or something.
Well, yeah.
No, we don't want technical issues.
I was going for less destruction, but yes, essentially that would help.
Yeah, but technical issues would be not nice. In any case, Nero just fought right now Tiger, and Luis up to the last boss, I guess, of the tournament. Going to Blast Hornet. Another elevator situation where he has to go with very precise jumps. What could be another small problem here and there, but in the end, one mini boss in front, and the last boss, what we are fighting with the blades. Hopefully not getting too much damage and bringing it home. There's the precise jumps, I mean.
Yep.
And he made it perfectly, as Luis always does.
And I asked, I think, Justin Incredible, but we're sure he's not an android or something.
Robotic hands, you know?
Something's not quite human about all of this, so it was worth asking, I suppose, but... Well.
Yeah, like in sports, these guys are having talent, this kind of thing. So, some are having just talents in that, and these guys are actually really talented in playing video games fast, using strats and copying strats. And it's not even taking a lot of time.
And they're a little bit nuts, I mean, in a good way, but you have to be kind of nuts to want to just grind this out to the kind of degree that they are.
Yeah, they put a lot of hours, of course, to learn the strats and playing perfectly, getting everything what they want, every small detail, what is gap jumps, dash jumps, boss fights. So what you see right now of them is just the end result of a lot of practice and a lot of time, standing in front of a television and doing it over and over and over again.
Absolutely. So here we go, final fight for LuizMiguel.
On the way to win another MMX tournament. Using the Buster first shot, and then going for the second weakness, what is the blades. The blades actually bring Hornet to continue attacking him. His actual weakness, the Gravity Beetle weakness, brings him to stuck in the middle, and the HP goes not so quick down. 2 more shots, 1 more shot, and he's 103, 39.
An official SRL time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, 42 seconds. We congratulate LuizMiguel, the champion of the Mega Man X 24 Mavericks tournament. Get your GGs out for the champion.
Congratulations to Brazil, LuizMiguel. Good job. And yeah, let's see what Nero's doing right now. Last stage, going for the elevator. But yeah, GG to Luis, congrats to him, and he deserves to win like all, because his performance during the tournament was again very consistent. He didn't make any big mistakes, and that's brought him to the finals and to the win.
Yeah, he swept group play, he rammed his way through the brackets, consistently finishing with times of 102, 103, 104, you know, basically
very consistent.
The same thing every single time, and as you said, no mistakes, you know, was very, very sharp in his play and very consistent, and demonstrated once again, as you said, that his mastery of the Super Nintendo X games.
Yeah. The thing is, like, if we would have a trilogy with the last stages, what are actually more the harder ones, then we could have still some struggle here and there. But since we only play the 8 Mavericks, it's actually really not so much RNG and death.
That would be interesting though, to have a tournament in the reverse where you have to fight you have to play the second half of the 3 games.
So you're putting a password in and go for the last down. That would be interesting. I would agree when they would play perhaps an any % tournament only playing those fights.
You'd have to agree on the settings ahead of time, but I think that would be kind of interesting, just to kind of turn it on its head slightly and see, you know, what can happen there.
Yeah, that can happen a lot actually. Big damages. As far you go more into the game, as bigger can be the damage. And especially, for example, Sonera is just using the weakness to not die. 106.26, would I say?
Yes, SRL time of 106.26. So,
GG Nero.
GG to our silver medalist Nero X2 for finishing off Blast Hornet and ending this tournament. You know, 2 terrific players putting on a great show and finishing off this tournament in style, I would say. And it was a really interesting tournament overall to watch when it started in July. You know, they'd done the 46 Robot Masters in 16, as I said, and that was pretty interesting. This game, you know, the general reception that I've had from other runners who have participated, and I've asked them, you know, what they thought of it, and they really enjoyed it. And they really kind of like to see playing these games, you know, from this perspective, because for a few of them they said this actually allowed them to
animation.
play the game parts of the games they liked and skip the parts of the games they didn't.
Yeah, definitely. So what I also know is like many people had been interested in the tournament because they only had to learn the boss fights, the 8 Mavericks, so they didn't have to learn the whole game. So it was kind of not the biggest learning situation for them.
No.
That's what they brought them also to that tournament, to learn how to play.
And each game has its own specific identity as far as that goes. So that also, that certainly was true in the 46 Robot Master. Each game has its own unique identity. It has its own quirks and tricks and what have you. So that certainly was on display here. And we once again congratulate our runners. They have politely declined interviews. Fortunately, I'd like to hear from them, especially our champion, but expect that. And
completely understandable.
Yeah, we get it, you know.
Both are people who don't like interviews.
Well, that's fair. But once again, we congratulate LuizMiguel and Miro X2, and also want to thank some other people, MMX86 for putting this together. That did a terrific job running this thing and keeping everything going. You know, Lethargic Waldo as well. Both of them did a great job. Kekuman Shoyo, well, and Speed Gaming did a great job keeping everything together and putting this whole thing together. So, and all of our participants in this tournament. You know, I was just a commentator, but the racers, and all of that. Commentators, everybody did a terrific job, and thanks all for watching this tournament. It was a real treat to see all these matches and to see, you know, players pushing the Mega Man X games as far as they did. So
yeah, definitely thanks everyone to participate, to watch, to enjoy. I hope we brought in other people into the Mega Man X community and to be interested into the game. And yeah, we can just say, hey, Luis,
yeah,
keep going and calm down. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
He definitely deserves the win and everything. But yeah.
Absolutely, and I know in the Mega Man world, we have another grand final coming up, I think on Friday, in the Mega Man 2 Game Boy tournament. I believe it's on Friday. I'm not quite sure what time, but more Mega Man grand final fun coming up. I think that's a best of 5 as well. So
nice.
Get your Mega Man fix if you haven't already, and then of course there's the Mega Man 2 randomizer tournament going on. So there'll be a lot of good stuff in the Mega Man world happening over the next month or so. So thanks, Berloon Dude, for joining me at the last minute. I made this a really good commentary, and I hope you all enjoyed.
Yeah, thanks also for having together a nice time, and we will see you for sure soon again with another Mega Man X tournament.
Which Louise will win, but
of course
we're gonna have to put a handicap on this guy. We're gonna have to start spotting him minutes or something, because it's like, we got to make this interesting. So thanks all for watching, and have a good night.
Have a good night, and see you in the next X tournament if you want. Bye bye.